So what we have to do, first of all, right off the bat, we're going to take a look at ourselves. We've got to look at who we are, right? Because what drives us, what drives you, is very different, right, from what drives your spouse. You're like, yeah, I know that. So we're going to take a quick look at you. Then we're going to talk about how do you take that and transfer that over to make a difference in your spouse's life as well.
As you can see from the brief introduction, the reason they had both of us is because they wanted a complete rose bush. We have the rose and the thorn.
It's the other way around.
Anyway, we also, those of us who are Northerns are so charmed by the Southern accent. So for the Northerns, you get the benefit of Melissa's lovely accent. We're going to be handing out a personality inventory. How many of you have done this before? Many of you, some of you. And, you know, again, if you've done this, the challenge is not merely to understand it, but to use it. To use it to understand your spouse, your family, your coworkers, not just to understand, but to be able to effectively communicate. Because our different personalities, our different makeups, we interpret things differently, we understand ourselves differently, and if we understand how other people are, it allows us to communicate more effectively to them. Because we understand who they are, so we can approach them in their language style. So we're going to hand these out, and as she does that, as you open it up, on the left side is the quiz side. So you'll fold the booklet back so that what you'll see at the top is Discover Your Profile. And there are 20 columns, 4 words each. And as you work your way across each line, you will select the one that most applies to you. And so on each line, you should have one check. So as you go across the top, you see daring, lively, logical, and flexible. You will pick one of those traits and mark it. And then you'll move to the second line and on down through the quiz or the inventory. And when you're finished, we will then turn to the next page and we'll score it. So go ahead.
What if you thought 2 of them were?
Well, you can, if she's asking what if you have 2 of them, we like you to try to wrestle a little bit to pick the one that most applies to you most often. But if you need to put 2, you can kind of mark them both, and as you score it, you can go back and see how that fits into your personality profile. Any other questions? You may begin. This ought not be stressful. I know taking tests is a stressful one. This should be a fun test. For those of you who are wrapping up the first page, and I don't mean to rush those who are not, we do have time, go ahead and turn over to the personal profile scoring sheet, which is the next side. And as you work across each line, if you checked lively, you will check it again on the personal profile scoring sheet. If you pick logical, you'll check it also. And so you'll start to see the traits line up under the 4 columns with the labels: the much-loved monkey, the leading lion, the competent camel, and the tranquil turtle. We're doing this for you initially so you get a sense of who you are. But self-awareness of yourself and awareness of others and their dominant personality traits are critical for you really understanding and working effectively. Because if you don't have that awareness, if you're different from your spouse, there can be tension between your personalities. And if you don't understand that it's a different personality, not that you're just fussing all the time, you won't flourish. Because many times you are married to a compliment, and that creates tension. But as you submit yourself to that greater goal of the marriage, and you understand the strength of one supports the weakness of the other and vice versa, then together you become strong as a marriage unit and also as an employment setting as you understand this and begin to see your employees with that understanding, that self-awareness of who you are and who they are, and you can work together to make a more effective marriage and a more effective team. Now that we've pretty well got these wrapped up, I know there's one or two who came in a bit late are anxiously working their way through. We're going to kind of just do a quick overview of the 4 dominant personality traits. There are more sophisticated versions of this in the clinical market, but we don't ever remember what they mean because they grade you with clinical terms and they give you letters and nobody remembers the letters. This is a friendly, ordinary person inventory. And so Larry's come up with these animals to help us remember. And we start with the leading lion. Shall we?
Yes, let's do. Let's start with the leading lion. So the lion is about the big picture. They see things from that 30,000 viewpoint. They're the ones that love to see the end result. They love to meet the goal. They set goals for themselves because when they complete those goals, then they feel really good about themselves. They're the ones that are very direct, very bottom line. You know, they're the ones that if they're thinking it, you know what they do? That's right. They say it. And so those lions just say what's on their mind. So you don't ever have to worry about what they're thinking at times because they're going to tell you. Lions are very, very driven. They're the ones that task all the time. They work at work. And when they come home, a lot of times, you know what they do at home? Work. That's right. They have the task list, always working. If you guys, Miss Nancy, y'all know Arlen, picture Arlen, okay? His face is a lion. So lions really value the task. They really value completing that task at hand.
One way I like to think of the lions, if you're painting a house, they're the one that has the roller. And they're painting because they want to get the job done. Big task, get her done, paint the house, move on to the next task. The second person I want to look at is the much-loved monkey. You might suspect, like a monkey, they're the party animal. They're fun, they're talkative, they're verbal. All of those things that make them delightful and annoying at the wrong time. The monkeys like to swing from chandelier to chandelier. They're flexible, they're dynamic, and generally we love them until they're annoying. But you get the sense. The word we think of them, lion is big task oriented. The monkey is people oriented. They like groups, they like the dynamic, they like being up in front, they like the class clown. That's the sense that we have with the much loved monkey. And then we move into the tranquil turtle.
The tranquil turtle. Now, if the lion is all about the big picture, getting it done, making it happen, they don't want to take a break, they just want to keep working. The monkey is all about connecting with people and having those relationships and lots of friends. The turtle is laid back, easygoing, present, very even keel. The turtles are the ones that don't get in a hurry. You know, they're just going to take their time. They're going to be thorough. They're going to think about things. They're going to be very peace-oriented. If you know a thoroughbred turtle, then that person's presence, just their physical presence at times, can bring about a lot of peace because they're very, very good-natured. They value one-on-one relationships, and they're very, very connected one-on-one. They value family. It's very, very important to them that they have the time to invest in those relationships.
If we wanted to put a one-word handle on the tranquil turtle, we called the monkey people-oriented. The turtle is person-oriented, one-on-one. They don't like being in front of people, behind the scenes, reserved kind of people, content to be unseen. Well, then finally we have the competent camel. And as you may suspect, this is our detail person. They just keep on going like the camel across the desert. They love details, they love processes. It's not just getting from point A to point B, but how we get there is important. The presentation we just saw, that thing was created by camel. Monkeys like looking at the ziggly line. The data, we don't care about. But the camel, when we think of the word that we describe them, is small task. They're still task-driven. The lion is the big task. Paint with the roller. The camel comes in with the fine point brush and puts the eyebrows on the painting, the shadows. Small task-oriented. So we see people-oriented personalities and task-oriented personalities. Big task, small task. Groups, individuals. So that's a kind of a sense of an overview of those personalities. But what we're going to do now is have a quick survey. How many leading lions do we have in the room? One. That's good. Now, we kind of snicker. If we do this to most of the entrepreneurial leaders of these companies, we did this with a group of them, and we had out of 100 people, 75 of them were lions. 25 of them were camels, or 24, and we had one monkey and one turtle.
That's my next one, a lion camel.
Yeah, yeah. How many, we have the leading lions, how many much-loved monkeys in here? Few party animals? Good. Good. How about competent camels? Some details. And how about our tranquil turtles? Very good. What we're going to do next is what, Melissa?
Well, we're going to experience the personality. But before we do that, I want you to think for just a second. So you've heard that overview. Go ahead and open up your profile, and in the middle, go ahead and write down at least your first highest personality trait for you personally. And now for just a minute, I want you to think real quick about your spouse. And at the bottom of that page, go ahead and just write what you think they may be. Just at the bottom of that page, what you think they may be from that description. Okay.
You mean from here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Just put that right there. Let's see, right here what you scored. Turtle camel, right there. Okay, so now thinking back to yourself, think back to who you are, your personality. So if you are a monkey, monkeys, raise your hand one more time. Monkeys, in just a second.
We're going to have a party right over here.
Okay.
This poster. So come up and grab your pen, and I'll just take the pen over to make it more efficient.
All right. If you
Party
are
monkeys over here.
very good. Lion, one lion. Did anybody else score high on the lion? Maybe the second, was your second highest personality trait? Anybody else? Okay. Okay, for today, will you play a lion?
Yeah.
Will you try to do that? Just play a lion? Okay. All right.
All right. We're going to have a power execution task meeting right over here. All the lions, come on up here. I'm going to execute this baby. Well, not yet. We'll break in a second. And
Okay.
next.
And we have the camels, right? If you're a camel, raise your hand. Camels, majority of camels. Camels, in just a moment.
The good thing
Where do they
about
need to head?
this, we did some research before we came in.
Lots of
We studied
research.
the lights, we studied the airflow, and we determined that this is, from a detailed analysis, the best part of the room. So camels, you'll come right on up here.
Okay, did we give everybody? Got it, Let's don't forget the turtles. How can we forget the turtles? Turtles, raise your hand one more time. Turtles, in just a second. Where do they need to head?
Well, after everybody else is moving, then you can quietly move over here to this poster. And if you do it at the right time, no one will watch you. So you won't feel insecure about moving. There won't be anybody watching, so we'll have our turtles moving here. So,
What if they just sit down over there too? Would that be okay?
well, they could if they're, if
want
they're
to.
anxious about this activity, just sit calmly over there. But on the count of 3, move into your position. 1, 2, 3, go.
Go ahead.
What we want to do, what we want you to do is make your list of attributes
that really distinguish the nobility and the greatness of your character trait. Those things that make you the great lion and the great monkey and the great turtle and the great camel. Start writing those down. Ready, go, because we have to move fairly quickly.
Okay, lions. What makes lions
Task-oriented.
tick? Yes.
I mean, we were
Yes.
born.
I'm going to that.
Yeah. Okay, because we do have a limited time, I'm going to interrupt. You're doing a good job. What I want you to do now is flip that chart over, and if you fold the top a couple, 3 inches down, you can re-adhere it to the wall, because you're going to be writing on the back side. Okay, you understand what I mean? Flip that down and turn it over. And so the back page is now facing out. Now,
No, that's not your fault.
It
what we're
won't.
going to have you do
You're good.
is
There you go. That's right.
describe the complement of that particular personality trait. So over here, our leading lions, you are going to describe for us the, hang on, I just had a brain cramp,
Turtles.
the slow, lazy turtles. Okay? You're going to describe the turtle and what you don't like about it. All right? And who are you? You guys are our camels. You are going to describe those stinky, noisy, obnoxious monkeys. All right? And Melissa, what do we have going on over here?
We have the turtles.
Turtles. You are the
They're gonna
turtles?
describe
And
Decided.
the lions.
oh, you didn't like that word? Oh, they're not lazy? Well, you get to describe those bossy, run-you-over lions.
Let's describe them. Let's describe those
You
lions.
guys are the monkeys.
Can be abrasive.
And you know what you get
Sure
to do?
can.
You get to describe
Yes, they can.
those tedious, boring camels and all of their stinking rules and their details, and they don't like to have fun.
Yes.
Fuddy-duddies. Get those camels written up there. Okay. It looks like you're getting pretty good lists for the most part. So we kind of want to refocus here. Just kind of put your pens down for a bit. And now what we want you to do, you're starting to get a sense of the differences of your own and the complement. But we're going to now just kind of walk through a few of these and look at how they mesh in a team or in a family. But before we do that, we want to talk about 2 myths that we operate out of as people. The first one is that everybody sees the world the way I do. Everybody sees problems the way I do. And so, for example, if we were going to go on a vacation and I happen to be a monkey, I'm thinking about all the fun we're going to have. And if I'm a lion, I'm thinking about how to get there the fastest. And it's going to be a race from point A to point B. So we can get there, get her done, and get back home to get to work. And if I'm a camel, I'm going to start 6 months before, and I'm going to spend hundreds of hours researching where we're going, and we're not going to miss any of the must-see sites. We're going to have a complete detailed analysis of every site and what it costs to get in. And in fact, we might start arguing about how much it is going to cost. And if I'm a turtle, I'm going to go, phew, I can hardly wait till I get home. And where do you want to go? I don't know. So you get that sense. But I don't want to spend a lot of time on that myth because the second myth is really more critical. Melissa, tell us about that one.
So the second myth is that everybody sees me as I see myself, right? So everybody sees me as I see myself. On the front of the Post-it notes, when you were making those descriptions, right? Camels, turtles, lions, and monkeys, you were describing the best characteristics, right? Those that came to the top of your mind of who you are and your personality. But the truth is, we know that everybody doesn't see us as we see ourselves, right? So let's think about that for just a moment. We said over here, turtles, can you turn that around for 1 second? Let's just look at the turtles here. The turtles, they said that they're peaceful and they're family oriented and they're helpful and friendly. See, these things are important to turtles, right? Being peaceful, not getting in a hurry, not things being chaotic, but things being peaceful and calm. And that's the type of environment that they like. And they can facilitate that type of environment. And they see themselves that way, and they are that way. But let's think about the lions. And the lions over here, what is peaceful and calm, you know how those lions can see that sometimes? They can see it as being slow. But it's peaceful, calm, and an even keel. What are those lions thinking? You know what those lions are thinking? That's right. Get out of the way. Move over, right? That's right. And so, see how that's different? Think about your spouse for just a moment. Think about your spouse and their personality. It's probably very different from your personality, right? Right? The things that you value are not necessarily the same things that your spouse values. And so if we're not careful, like Rich was talking about at the very beginning, what can happen? Can kind of clash, right? Can kind of clash. But if we better understand ourselves and what makes us tick, first of all, we know who we are, we feel confident about who we are, then we can let other people, friends, family, spouse, be who they are, right? Let's look at one more opportunity here. The monkeys. Monkeys, will you turn that around? It's an example here. Oh, look at this, camels. Look at this. They've got the smiley face. They run really big and monkey-like, right? And monkeys say they're fun, they're observant, the more the better. They're quick, they're happy, and they wrote sideways. Do y'all see that? They kind of wrote sideways. Happy, open-minded, all those monkey characteristics, right? And monkeys value that, and they bring that to the relationship. You all bring those giftedness, the personality of who you are, you bring that to the relationship. And what a gift that is. What a gift in who you are. What a gift in what you have to offer to that relationship with your spouse, to your family, because you're uniquely made. Uniquely made. And we can't forget that. We have to be careful that we don't lose ourselves in others, but we bring that giftedness to the relationship. Monkeys are fun and exciting, and camels see things differently, right? There's no right or wrong to this. There's no better or best. It's different. It's different. Camels, and let me tell you, they were methodically putting the camel characteristics up there, and then when they got to the monkey, they just took off. They just started riding quick, and they had a ton of them up there. For monkeys, they say, you know what, sometimes it appears a little scatterbrained. Okay, monkeys, sometimes it just kind of comes across scatterbrained or unfocused. They're spontaneous. And how do camels see that? Ugh, right? That's right, let's have order, let's have a plan, let's be structured. So see how we're different. And it's okay to be different. But we have to be careful, because as we said, myth number 2 is everyone doesn't see us as we see ourselves, right? Everyone doesn't see us as we see ourselves. Okay, let's do this. Let's have a seat.
Yeah,
Go ahead and
one
have a
thing I
seat.
wanted to say, as you move into your seat, this is a fun experiment for you to try at home. If you're in the context of a little disagreement with your spouse, instead of hunkering down in your different personalities, try this for a minute. Good. I see that you see things differently than I do. And watch your spouse's jaw drop, because they're expecting the historical relationship of you tugging over those things. But if you just stop and say, so nice to see that you see things differently than I do. Great! Tell me more about it. Because what you're wanting to do is invite them to be who they are. And you want to invite yourself to hear them as they are. But what we're going to do now is the most important part of today, and that's practice. Okay? What we're going to do is take a little bit of time to share with you not just understanding, but how you use this. It's a gift, if you will. And the first thing is to understand monkeys and how to validate a monkey, how to affirm them. Because you don't want to just understand, you want to positively affect your spouse. So if you're married to a monkey, the way you validate monkeys is by affirmation and approval of the person, not the task. They want approval of themselves. And trigger words, and you should write these down. This is an important thing for you to write down on the back. The way you validate a monkey is approval and affirmation of the person. And the trigger words that you should remember are looks and touch and words. Now, in an employment setting, we have to be careful with the touch. But at home, as opposed to a swat in the face or on the bottom, it's a gentle pat, an affirming touch, kind words, kind faces of the person. That's how you connect. So let's take just a few minutes, pair up if you would, with a partner. Groups of 2 is best. And I want you to practice talking to each other in monkey style. So there ought to be lots of patting and hugging and friendly looks and smiles. And if we got somebody here, if maybe the 2 of you could kind of slide.
Yeah, if you need to move,
Oh, we got one here. Do we have
get
enough?
where you can have a partner.
We got a spare back here in the back.
Let's see. What you're doing too is your face is saying that. Because a lot of times camels, you're a camel, right? Camels have flat facial expressions. They don't show a lot of demonstrative.
Yeah,
But she's monkey too, aren't you?
I'm
Are you monkey?
a camel. Yeah, little monkey too.
Little monkey.
Yeah.
Monkey. So, but
But
to show.
I score really high on the empathy scale, so I have a lot of empathy for people too.
So that is powerful for camels to be able to say that with their face too, because monkeys read body language. They're looking and watching and
How many
reading
times
and
Alex
seeing.
will say,
What we're trying to help you understand, we can kind of briefly draw everybody's attention back, is the value in reaching out to understand and to communicate in a way that the other person in your family can understand, so that the communication is clear. Now, friendly looks and smiles and touch is not a punch in the arm, as I saw some of you do. It's a pat on the back. It's an affirming smile. I've read some statistics that everybody needs 10 to 12 hugs a day, and that doesn't mean, or friendly touches. That's not like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't work. If you're a lion trying to get those in. Anyway, let's take a look now at the leading lion.
Okay, so the lion, and affirming a lion is very different from a monkey. Okay, we just learned that for a monkey, they need words of affirmation, positive words about them as a person, So we're switching to a lion. So with the lion, I want you to think about the task. So go ahead and write that down. That's very different. I want you to think about the task. Okay? Now, for a lion, it's not a lot of words. You can't give them a lot of words. For lions, you're going to have to hit it and then move on. For a lion, it sounds like Honey, thank you for working so hard to provide for our family. Thank you for taking out the trash. Honey, thank you for, fixing the lawnmower. Thank you for providing the opportunity for us to go on vacation. So, you hear that? Hear how that's different? Remember, big picture. So you're not going to give a lot of words or details. It's big picture affirmation around the task. So, go ahead, partner up again. And we're practicing as a lion. So everybody is a lion.
Just before we do that, what I wanted to make sure they get on their paper was the trigger words that we like to associate. And the trigger word we use for lions is empower. They want to be able to accomplish the task. And as she talked about how we thank them for these things, if you want to get them done, honey, there's this really important task that I need done. And only someone like you can accomplish it. It's mowing the lawn. And imagine how you'll feel when this task is over. It's such a big one that only you can do it. Go ahead.
That's right. That's right. So let's all be lions. Let's practice. Go ahead, get with your partner and practice.
And I have to stop. Like, can you just I think different. And so what I need to do is go find a girlfriend and talk my way through an issue and then come back and tell Brian. So that way.
Hey, everyone. Hey, lions. Let's hear really quick. Let's hear really quick. What were some things that you said as a lion to affirm the other person? What were some things you said?
I admire your finishing nursing school.
Ah, admire.
Yeah.
Great job. What else? What else did you say? Help us out here.
Well, direct questions.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like to do for fun?
Mm.
There wasn't a lot of side chatter. It was very direct and to the point.
Great point there. Direct. You're having direct conversation with a lion. Very good. We have to be intentional, don't we? If that's not our personality, if we're not a lion, we have to be very intentional to think about how do I speak to this lion so that it really hits the mark. I can really validate that lion. And it's difficult. It's very difficult.
About the fact that our husbands are both lions, and if, like in the morning, if he brings me a little glass of juice, and if I don't say, thank you, honey, for doing that for me, I so appreciate it, he's like hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. It's funny.
Mm-hmm. He did a task for you.
Yes.
He wants you to notice the task.
Yes.
What else?
I also read once that sometimes word choices are critical, and it's very important to say "will you" instead of "can" or "could you." That with women, it works really well to say "can" or "could," but that if you say "can" or "could" to a man or probably a leading lion, that kind of personality, they're backed into a corner because of course they can't admit that they can't. So there's no backing out of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So don't ask me if I can, just ask me if I will. So I'm never gonna say no, I can't, but I'm not as psychologically committed when you say can instead of will. I mean,
That's good.
That's a very good
I'm
thing.
not kidding.
That's good.
It's also
And
a power thing.
there you go. Good. Good.
Power. And if you say will you, it's a request, and they have the power to say yes or no.
Right.
That's great. What wisdom in this room. That's great.
The can statement is really a good point because I'm married to a lion monkey, but mostly lion. And if I say, can you do this? And he's like, well, why couldn't I? I always get that, well, why couldn't I? Of course I can do it. I'm like, okay.
That's
funny.
Yeah.
The garbage needs to be emptied. Well, from some of us that we think, oh yeah, I need to go do that. They would just look at it and go,
Somebody else can do that.
want something you have to say.
Good.
I heard a question in the context of the discussion. What if you're working at the office with your husband who's a lion, and it's time for lunch, or you have to go pick up the child from school, and your husband thinks, no, you've got to be at work. How do you respond to that? How do you respond to that?
Close your eyes. I'm walking on out.
Got any good insight?
prioritize, and you say, I have to do this now, and I'll come back and finish it later.
Pick up the child, or you can.
Yes.
There you go.
So you're talking direct,
Yeah.
right, to a lion.
This task
what you
needs
need.
to be accomplished by someone.
I was gonna say, but just tell them I'll go get you lunch and bring it back.
So talking direct to a lion is important. And ultimately, they respect that. Someone that will talk and speak directly, not necessarily challenging them, because you can challenge a lion and they're going to rise to the challenge, but with confidence, if you can communicate what you want and need, it may not always happen, but lions respect someone who will have a voice. So that's great wisdom. Do we have time to continue?
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, because let's just do one or two here. What time are we at?
I think we're at 12. Can we finish? Can we
Well,
finish
yeah,
the?
we can wrap it real quick.
Okay.
Next is the camel. The way you validate a camel, write this down. Before I give you the word, think of what we just said about the lion. Lion is accomplishing the task. And the trigger word is empower. For the camel, the way you validate a camel is the quality of the task. And the trigger word is specifics. We give you these trigger words as kind of something, it's a way to help you think about how to approach the other person. Specifics. So in this next assignment, to be a camel, you should be giving and receiving a huge amount of details. You should be swimming in details and specifics. Okay, go.
I have to say, I love the way you analyze that.
Excellent.
That's good.
Excellent.
Oh, that's good. And what's your
I love it.
personality?
Affirmation.
It's so good that you give attention to those details. You give those words. It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Did you give and receive adequate details?
How'd it
Did you see
go?
those camels just flourishing?
How'd it go?
I heard a story passing around that one camel had to create an Excel spreadsheet to organize her child's birthday party. Now that's commitment. You love that kind of stuff? Invitations, prepared, sent, birthday cake, ordered, cut precisely. Isn't that great? We love these camels.
Isn't that important? The details. Notice in those details. And if you're not a camel, you have to exert energy to do that, to think through the details, to be able to give details, because that validates the camel. It's important to realize how you hit the mark, So our last personality we're going to look at are the turtles. Now here's what you need to know about the turtles. Turtles can spot someone who is not being authentic just like that, okay? They can pick up on that. So it's so important when you're validating a turtle that you're thoughtful about that. For turtles, to me it's maybe the hardest out of the four, because to validate a turtle, you have to give your time, okay?
And that is the trigger word.
Time. And you have to be present. You can physically be in front of someone, but you can be thinking about what you need to do back at the house and all the tasks that need to be completed in the afternoon, or all those things going on. For the turtles, you have to slow down, get with them, calm down, present peaceful. Don't have to do a lot of talking necessarily. You can sit on the couch. You can watch a movie together. You can go for a ride together. You can go for a walk together. Hear what I'm saying? Together. Together. Now, they value relationships, and so they value you asking them about their family. They value you thinking through what's going on with our daughter, what's going on with our son. And so for a turtle, it's calm, slow down, invest with your presence, and create that calm conversation. Okay? Asking about family, inquiring what's going on in their life. So you see how that's very different, right? From the monkey, words of affirmation. From the lion, affirming the big task and moving on. From the camel, the details. And the turtle, calm. Very, very calm.
We're getting some anxious looks from those people who are in the back of the room because it's time for a transition. So as you gather your things, walk out together and pretend you've already been together for about 30 minutes and then begin to affirm each other with that one-on-one personal relationship of spending quality time together. Thank you for coming and have a good day.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Brought to you by the fine folks at Varvid, video and digital media for business. Contact us at info@varvid.com or online at varvid.com.